So today's video is a little bit of a follow-up regarding yesterday's video talking about the Asus TUF with the AMD 4000 series now in it and the GTX 1650 Ti. Looks like MSI has hit back with the GL65, but now with the Leopard version, which granted most of it remains the same keyboard layout, same chassis, 144Hz panel option, same kind of cooling system. Does look to be also slightly tweaked. Looking at the left hand side there, it also blows out to the left hand side or the right hand side when it's actually sitting upright. Looking at the specs of it, there's really not much more that changes in it apart from it using a 10th gen Intel chip. So they do also come with the 10300H processor, which, looking online, I'd say this particular one will be a bit of a miss, especially with what it's got and the price they're asking for it. I find it a little bit too much. Granted, this one here is the i7 variety of it for 2000 AUD, where the rest of the specs of it are all fairly similar, especially when it's also using the 1650 Ti in here, which isn't really going to change too much compared to the 1650. So I would be giving that particular one a miss, especially at that price. Especially when we have a look and see what differences there are between the i5 9300 versus the i5 10300H. Granted, the previous model is different pricing, but as you can see, we're only getting about a 10% improvement in performance. Granted, it does also have higher compatibility with DDR4 up to 3200 MHz, but same cores, same architecture, same TDP, it's all not that great. But if we look at it compared to the base Ryzen 5 4600H versus the i5, 3 GHz base clock, granted the turbo side of it on the Intel is a little bit better in single core, but you are getting 6 cores versus 4. So, and also the smaller nanometer technology, 7 versus 14, basically means it's going to be a better battery. So if we have a bit of a skim through, I did discover on notebook check that the MSI Alpha 15, which is pretty much a sibling of the MSI GL65, which was running the 3750H, has now got a Bravo model running the 4600H with the Radeon RX 5500M. So that category, I'd basically rate that higher than the i7, or at least comparable to the i7 in the GL65. And it's also got a more powerful graphics processor in there. So this would fall probably between the GTX 1650 and the 1660 Ti. That combined with a more powerful processor is going to yield a pretty darn good system. The other thing to note there too is the decreased weight. So the Bravo 15 is weighing in at 1.8 kilograms, where the Alpha 15, the first generation, was 2.3. So potentially a thinner, lighter machine, and also more CPU powerful. All up to be a win. But if we load up the Bravo 15 page on the MSI website, as you can see, looking at these pictures just here, it looks very similar to the GL65 Leopard. So this will be probably the next machine I'll get my hands on, not the Asus TUF, as this will be packing the punch in the processor side of things, and also have a bit more of a more powerful graphics processor. As we can see here, the cooling, I believe, does look a little bit better on here. I will just bring this up side by side. So as we can see, with both the 3D rendering of the coolers, I do prefer the look of the Alpha, as it looks like it does have much larger copper pipes, especially compared to the GL65 Leopard. Restart. So with them two side by side, I reckon I'd much rather the Bravo 15, as the copper pipes do look a fair bit chunkier, where they all seem to be actually connected directly back to the actual heat sinks themselves, or the chips. Got 1, 2, connected, connected, connected. We got one that isn't overly connected, which I'm assuming would be for the VRMs, which if we look over here at the GL65, they are considerably smaller copper pipes in locations. There does look to be a couple more copper pipes that aren't physically connected to a chip. As I say that, I am seeing a bit closer here. But anyway, I'm also curious to see what the battery life between these two would be, especially being they're very similar machines and also very similar target market. So if the Bravo 15 could produce a 4 to 5 hour produce a 4 to 5 hour battery life compared to the 65, then I'll definitely be interested in one of those. So I think this may be on my next to buy list, would be the Bravo 15. Anyway, just another quick overview of some entry level to mid-tier gaming laptops that are available out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.